All right, I'm back. There's too much noise in here. I'm turning off the dishwasher. All right, I'm back. We're going to bake the last of the sourdough. I'm going to wait a few minutes for people to come in, but we are working with some dough I made this morning using unfed starter. So this is called the Unloaf. You search for it online. I don't know who created it. I've seen it all over the different sourdough boards. It is one of my favorite go-to recipes for just making a loaf within half a day and completely hands-off. So this literally is hands-off. I did not touch it after I turned it into a shaggy dough. My earlier lives showed how I did this, and I did another loaf side by side with it so you could see what it looked like. I'm going to pull that loaf out of the fridge. Alright, so this is a more traditional loaf. You can see it rose a little bit since it's been in the fridge. It might rise a little bit more, but it's almost cool enough that it's not going to. So this is using the methods where you activate, you feed your starter, let it rise, use it in its active state where it's happy, and then you do a series of stretch and folds, and then you let it rise on the counter, and then you refrigerate at least overnight. And then you bake it in a hot Dutch oven that's already preheated Dutch oven that's with a preheated oven. This is called the Unloaf, and this one is literally you take the starter from the fridge and it's starter that's past its prime, it's risen, it's fallen, it's just sitting in the fridge waiting for you to do something with it. Usually you're going to take it and create a new starter and make it active, or feed it and make it active, but this recipe is essentially doing the starter. Think of it as you're doing the starter and the bread at the same time. Everything is done mixed together, covered, put on the counter overnight. I did put this in the oven with the light on for a little bit today, and because I didn't want to wait for it to get ready. But you can see it's, if you want to look, it is pulling away just nicely. Look at that. That's what it should look like. And it's in a perfect state right now, ready for me to shape it and to actually do something fun with it. I don't see anybody on here. I see one person, two people, one or two people. So hopefully you guys are interested in the sourdough, but this is what we're doing tonight. This is going to be probably only take me a few minutes to actually get this to be where you want. I have a marble board. I have used wood. Wood works fine, but I find that the marble board works better. A lot of people use their countertops, but my countertops has grout. These are granite tiles, but the grout. So with the grout, I can't do dough on it like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get my flour, which I of course forgot my flour. Put this here so people can see what we're doing. And I'm going to go grab the flour. It takes me 1 second. Okay, 1 second, probably 3 seconds. Sorry about that. Okay, so the first step we're going to do is, and let me just show you what we have in terms of the ingredients. We have the dough. And it looks still a little shaggy, but it looks a little more like it's more a little dry, so maybe it wasn't covered well enough, but it's still going to be fine. I have parchment. If you have a bread sling, this just makes it easier. Not necessary, but it's just a convenience. And I have my Dutch oven. I'm doing the round one today, and this one is the Loge. It's a Loge. It's all messed up on the inside. I gotta figure out if it can be cleaned. I'm not sure if this because I did it at too high of a temperature when I was first starting, but that's what we're doing. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna prep the Loge so that it's ready to go. My trick for parchment, I used to try and do this. I don't know if you guys have to do this. I don't know how I just learned this recently. everybody else seems to know. When you go like this and it doesn't fit and it's all, just sprinkle it up. Sprinkle it up. And if you want it, you put a little bit of water on it. A little bit of water. The water will help add steam. Because we're going to actually let this rest in the on the counter for about an hour before I put it in the oven. I don't want it terribly wet, so I'm going to shake off a lot of the excess water. So it's just a little damp, but not wet. So I'm going to put that in there. Okay, I'm going to put the sling down first and put it in there. Now, you can do it in a Banneton at this stage and then transfer it later, but I find that this works better for me because it's really just becomes one less step and one less mess. All right, so that's my thing ready. And again, I'm going to put this back in the fridge. This is the traditional one that has gone through its things, and I'm waiting to bake it tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to bake this one, and we'll compare. All right, and we'll compare. All right. Okay. So now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to dry off this board because I got it a little bit wet. What we're going to do is we're going to do something similar to that we did for the other loaf, and we're just going to dust some flour down on here. Yeah, you can see what I'm doing, right? Okay, good. Dust some flour on there, and we're going to just take this out. Now, once you'll see, it comes away pretty easily. Look at how nicely and easily that comes away. And we're going to shape it exactly the same way we shaped the other one. Put a little bit of flour on my hands. Okay. I'm just going to stretch it out. Stretch it out. Now, what's interesting about this is you're going to think that, oh, it's not going to rise that much, because it, you know, you'll be surprised at how fluffy this bread gets. It's a pretty soft dough and rises very nicely. So I'm just kind of doing my little fold, 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 roll, 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 and then bring it down. Now, again, there's people that do this so nicely. I am not great with circles in any form, but just doing it a couple times because I don't know how to get it to be perfect. Okay. This is it. So I'll lift you up. Okay, so that's the dough. And it's flattened because I just worked with it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take this board, put it aside so you can actually see what I'm doing. All I'm doing is sticking it in here. Okay? And then I'm going to cover it and let it rest for an hour. In about an hour, I'm going to put it, actually I'm going to set a timer. In an hour, I'm going to put it in the oven, cold oven, cold, this pot is cold, 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 everything's cold. Set it to 450 and then set the timer for 50 minutes, and I'm going to test the temperature at 50 minutes. I've had times when it's exactly 50 minutes, and I've had times when it's closer to 60 minutes. So I always test the bread first a little bit early, just to make sure. This method is very strange how it works. It's just amazing. But that early stage, when you're slowly coming, I think when it's slowly coming to temperature, you're actually letting the dough slowly rise a little bit faster with the heat until it gets to a nice state, and then you're gonna, and then once then it'll eventually start baking and actually get crusty. The only other thing that I do, which I don't have my scissors, when you're talking about scoring, I'm not great at scoring, and when you're talking about scoring these types of breads that are not refrigerated, it is hard to score. So what I wind up doing is I just take scissors and I go clip, 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 and I make a couple clips down the sides and maybe off the sides. And I just go about not that deep. I don't go very deep. You want to go just, I don't know, what's that, about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, not even 1/4 of an inch, probably 1/8 of an inch deep, and just clip, clip to let some steam out. If you can score it, that's great. I am going to put some plastic wrap on here though, so that it stays moist, because you don't want your dough to dry out while it's resting. And that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna let it rest. I'm gonna clip it or score it if I have a knife that I feel like I want to use. And then I'm gonna put it in the cold oven. It's gonna sit for 15 minutes. I'm gonna test the temperature. Temperature you're looking for is 450. Is 205. So I'm getting my numbers confused. 205 degrees Fahrenheit is the dough temperature before you remove it out of the oven. If you go under 200, it will not be done. So please don't do that. Don't go under 200. You will wonder why all of a sudden it gets gummy and it flattens. Most of the people that are online that are on these beginner boards, like, my dough looks like this, it looks gross and it gets dense. There's a couple reasons for that. It's either your starter is not active and it's not happy, so you're trying to use it too early, or it's really not a strong starter. You're not feeding it enough flour when you are feeding it. It could be you're under baking it, which is a very common one because people don't test the temperature of the dough, or it could be it is overproofed, meaning you let it rise too much. It can go higher than a normal, like it can be a little bit more. The one I did earlier was more, and it's going to come out fine. But when I say overproofed, I mean overproofed. Like, I mean, you let it go, and it just was like a balloon, and it went, instead of doubling, it went closer to triple, which it will continue to rise if you let it do that. So those are the 3 reasons why when you get to the baking stage, things can go wrong. I appreciate all the love and all the hearts. Thank you guys. That's amazing. So if you can follow me, click on that, the follow-ups up there, then you'll get the notifications when I go live. So anyways, I wish I could read your guys' name, but I don't have anything close enough, and it's like this big when I'm looking across. So, and it's covered up, so I need to figure out how to get something for me to see these things. But I think that's today's Adventures of Sourdough. And I don't think I have anything. If anybody has any questions, I don't know if I can see other than if it goes away where the questions are. But if you type something in now, I might be able to see it. So heart. Let TikTok know you like this type of content and that you like what I'm doing here. This is my first day doing lives, so I'm just trying this out. But I think I'm just going to continue it, even if I don't get terribly many people, too many people looking at it. I'm just going to continue because I actually enjoy doing this, and might as well do it while I'm baking. So so thank you, everybody. Tomorrow morning I will show you both loaves. I'm going to bake this one tonight. I'm probably take a video of it. Maybe I might go live when I pull it out of the oven. I doubt it because it's just going to come out of the oven. You're not going to see it. You'll see it tomorrow after the fact. And you'll see both of the loaves. I'll show you how I do bake the second loaf and score it. I'm not very good with scoring. Just letting you know that. So just know that, again, Adventures in Sourdough, everything is fine. It's no stress. Don't worry about the rules. If they don't fit your style, just try it. Just try it. Don't worry about being perfect. Just have fun with it. Make the bread. If you don't like it, adjust. Ask questions. It's an adventure, and there's no bad bread if it's edible. So eat your bread and have fun. And again, I will see you tomorrow. Probably on my side, probably pretty early. I'll probably be doing this around 7:30 to 8 a.m. Pacific. So Eastern time would be 10:30, 11 a.m. Well before the Super Bowl festivity starts, and we should be able to have some fun. So I thank you guys, and again, I appreciate all of the hearts. That really makes me happy, because that, I guess TikTok likes that. I always do that for my creators that I love. There's a couple, Anti-Matrix, I don't know if you guys can look at her. There was some guy on last night that was playing the piano and singing in like Billy Joel, and I just could not help but just mesmerized watching him. So when you give them the hearts, it pushes it out to other people, and it gives TikTok the knowledge that, hey, you like the content, and it makes things keep going and keep moving. And it also helps the creator as well. So do that for all the critters you like on their lives. And thank you again. Have a good night.